This tutorial will take you through the New Hampshire State Council on the Arts Fiscal Year 2024 Arts Conservation License Plate Grant Program application at submittable.com. This program is also known as the Moose Plate Grant Program. The first part of the application is information about your organization. So we'll start with the official IRS name. If your organization is applying with a fiscal agent, you will click this box. Then we need your snail mail address, email address, daytime telephone number, website URL, and we also need your unique entity identifier. This is a relatively new requirement from the federal government, and you cannot apply without a UEI. If you need to apply for a UEI, which is free, visit the federal website sam.gov to start that process. You can also find some information and background on our website at this link. If you're a nonprofit organization, we need quite a bit of information that follows: the year you were founded, the year you were incorporated, whether your New Hampshire Attorney General letter of good standing is available if we request it. Same thing with your certificate of good standing from the Secretary of State. We need the year you were granted your IRS exemption and whether your determination letter is available if we request it. We also need for all organizations your authorized official's name, title, and email address. If you are applying with a fiscal agent, you will fill out Section 2. This section is asking the same questions as Section 1. So I'm just going to scroll through, and now we'll come to Section 3, the grant request information. You want to identify your project, and there's a drop-down menu to do this, and there are things that you can select. You're going to tell us how much you're requesting, and then, ideally in 25 words or less, you are going to tell us your project title or summarize it, and it should be one clearly stated phrase or sentence. You're going to tell us when your project will start and end, who the project director is if it's different from the official or the contact person that was listed in Section 1. You're going to identify whether you've previously received a Moose Plate grant from the Department of Natural and Cultural Resources. If you have received a grant, you want to type the year of the award, the title of the grant, and how much you received. And then you want to choose which division you received the award from. Section 4 is about public ownership of the resource. And so you want to, if it's a historic resource, you want to type the date of listing or determined eligible for historic resource status. If it's an artwork or publicly owned cultural facility, you want to type the name of the facility or facilities where activities funded by the grant will take place. Section 5 is all about accessibility and facility information. So we need the name of your Americans with Disabilities Act coordinator. We want to know whether the facility is accessible to people with disabilities, and there's a drop-down here. Is the accessibility part of your organization's long-range plan? Again, a drop-down, yes or no. Have you done an ADA self-evaluation? And yes or no. You're also going to complete and upload the National Endowment for the Arts Brief Accessibility Checklist. And so there is a link in the guidelines to get this document, and there's a link here as well. And so you're going to choose, once you've filled out the document, you've saved it on your computer, you're going to click Choose File, and a little window is going to open on your computer, and you will, in it, you will be able to navigate to where you have saved the file. You will choose the file and attach it to the document. This is just like attaching a file to an email or uploading a photo to Instagram. And then there are some questions around accessibility. Have you established policies and procedures which address non-discrimination against people with disabilities? A yes or no drop down. Is this information publicly posted? Another drop down. Do you own the facility? Yes or no? If you don't own the facility, you need to give us the name of the owner, their full snail mail address, and the length and expiration date of the lease. Section 6 is where you're going to upload your documents. And as I said above, this is a very simple process. You will click Choose File, go to the window that opens, navigate to where you have saved your files ahead of time, choose the appropriate file, and attach it. So the first is the narrative questions file, and narrative questions are usually toward the end of the guidelines. Next is the budget form. Next is the letter of public ownership. This is very important because this grant only covers projects in publicly owned buildings or facilities. Next, you will upload images, and you may select up to 10 images to attach here. We also want the project director's resume or short biography. We need information about the contractor or craftsman or artist who's going to be working on this project. We want to see any bids that you have put out for the project, any organizational work samples that you care to attach. If you are a nonprofit organization, we want to see the year-end financial statement and current board list. If you are a facility that is applying, we need to see your 3-year facility plan. For facilities, any correspondence that you've had with the Division of Historical Resources. And if you're a facility, any historic structures reports that you have. So let me say something about these documents. We prefer that your documents be uploaded in PDF format. That way, there's no chance that we can inadvertently edit one of your documents. Now, for the budget form, if you're filling it out in the Excel version, there is a way to save it correctly as a PDF, and we have a little video on our website showing you how to do that. It's not necessarily as simple as you think it is. It's pretty easy, but it's not as simple as you think it is, so please, please watch the tutorial. And so, after you've uploaded all of your materials, you will certify by clicking the Agree button, and this is your electronic signature. After you click Agree, you'll type your name and your title, and then you will click Submit Form. Hopefully you've filled out everything correctly, and the system will accept your application, and you'll get a message on your screen to that effect. If, though, you get a message that the system is not accepting your application, it is probably because you haven't filled out a required field. Every field that's got an asterisk next to it is required. You'll also see that there's a Save Draft button at the bottom of the application. The submittable system is very stable, but we do recommend that you scroll down and save your draft every 5 to 10 minutes as you're working on it. So, that is the Moose Plates application. Please let us know if you have questions, and we look forward to seeing your application.